Normally, a prograde orbit around Kerbin goes counterclockwise if you're looking down from the North Pole. So if you look down from up here with your little eyeball, you're going to be going counterclockwise if you're in a prograde orbit, normally, right? So if I look at my pass on Kerbin, and I see that I enter the SOI, there's no icon on the dotted line over here, right? There's no icon there. And there is an icon there. That's the Kerbin escape. That means that I'm going to be coming in on that side and leaving on that side, right? So my motion past Kerbin is going to be like that, in that direction. So looking at this, I can observe that I am going to be going, well, sorry, that's not really the best place to draw it. If I'm going like this, I can observe that that is the same as a counterclockwise motion. So that is a prograde, passing on kind of the prograde orbit side of Kerbin. If instead this line was on this side of Kerbin, like that, that would be clockwise. So that would be a retrograde approach. Is not really the right terminology, I guess, but that would be approaching into what would be a retrograde orbit. Just look at where that icon is, okay? If you look at over there and there's no icon, and you see the Kerbin escape, which is how you can remember it, there is an icon. That's where I'm leaving the system. That's where I'm entering the system. If I'm going from left to right when I'm looking at the North Pole, that doesn't mean anything. If I'm going on this side of the planet so that I would break into something like that, that's going to be prograde, matching up with the way the space station is going, because the space station's going that way. So I want to be going the same way, right? And if the space station's going this way, because it's prograde, it launched to the east, and I'm ending up in something that's going to make me pass like that, I'm going to be going opposite the space station. It would cost me 4,000... let's call it 4,500 Delta V to rendezvous with that station after the Aerocapture. Because I would have to be like, whoa, skirt, stop my orbit and reverse my orbit and go in the other direction. Orbital velocity is about 2250-ish, whatever. What would it be? 2168, so it would be double 2168. So it'd be 43 and a half, roughly. 43 and a half. If I wanted to completely stop my orbit and go the other direction. It's really hard to change from retrograde orbit to prograde orbit. Good question, Die Hard. That's what I just answered. Yes, it costs you a lot. Around Kerbin, it doesn't cost you very much at Elu. It all depends on what your orbital velocity is. I did. I answered your question before you asked it, man. The knowledge was already slipping through the tubes coming your way. So anyways, we can burn this maneuver. We can come home. We can dance if we want to. We can do whatever. Let's go back to the craft by pressing the backspace key. Only on the map view. If you've plotted an abort procedure. Well, F5 for safety. We're going to need to burn 2 minutes and 49 seconds in advance of the node. That's coming up in about 30 minutes. Let's do the time warp again. You're setting up radiator panels for a mining craft. Doge House, can you hang on to that question for me, please? Give me just a couple minutes to get home. Then when I'm back in the VAB again, I'll show you how you can look at the craft. You can right-click on parts and see what their heating and cooling requirements are. If I'm at a really high apoapsis, it should be a lot cheaper. Master Chupon, that's correct. If I'm in an orbit that has a very high apoapsis, by definition, I'll have a very low orbital velocity around Kerbin. And it would be cheaper for me to reverse my orbital direction from a very high... from a very high apoapsis than a very low apoapsis. I gotta start the burn in 11 seconds. 10. We going home, boys. 9, 8, 7. The girls can come too. 6, 5, 4. I hate to be alone. 3, 2, 1, and action. There we go. We're doing the orbital burn. Outbound. Home to Kerbin. If you raise your Apo 1 kilometer and reduce a lot of my speed, then invert my direction. Raising the Apo 1 kilometer isn't a very big difference. Raising your Apo out past the moon. While we're doing this burn, instead of stalling mods to play the game for me, I can actually come over here and show you. If I click on this and focus the view, and zoom into Kerbin here, the orbital velocity at an altitude of 150 is about 2166. So if I want to reverse my orbital direction, go from prograde to retrograde, it's going to cost me double 2166. Let's check the moon. How fast does the moon orbit? The moon orbits Kerbin 542. So if I increase my apoapsis up to the moon, instead of 4,300 delta V, I can reverse my orbit for 1,100 delta V. How fast does Minmus orbit? If I go all the way up to Minmus's orbital velocity is 274. If I increase my apoapsis all the way up to Minmus, I can reverse my orbit for only 550 delta V. Now, it costs me delta V to increase my apoapsis up to Minmus's orbit, right? So if you want to do it, we've actually done a stream where we computed the best place to go. The best place to go is just a little bit inside the moon's orbit. So if I need to reverse my apoapsis for whatever reason, I can kick myself up so that I'm not quite to the moon and get my apoapsis looking a little bit like this, right? And do my inclination change right there. Well, do my inclination change. Do my change right there, I guess is the right way to say it. I mean, that would be 800 delta V, and then it's going to be almost 1,000 delta V to get up there. So that would be 200 extra delta V. And the difference is 1,000 versus 500. It may actually, for completely reversing your orbit, it may be slightly more efficient to go all the way out to Minmus. No, because you've got to brake again. That's right. I couldn't remember. I remember we did a stream on that, but I couldn't remember why. I was like, wait a second, does that math exactly work out? But after you reverse your direction, you have to brake down to the other orbit again, and it's going to cost me more to brake from a Minmus orbit than it is going to be to cost me braking from a moon orbit. That's right. Okay. Why is your orbit constantly decreasing? Because math is hard when you're plotting a space game, basically. Remove the apo of elliptical orbit, you're going a lot slower at the circular orbit at that height. At the apo, you're going a lot slower at the circular orbit at that height. Yes, Cantab, you're right. But when we tested it, we actually did it, it was cheaper to go close to the moon than it was going close to there. You're right, though. What is Delta V? Delta V is my craft's ability to change its situation in space. Like, if I'm landed and I want to be in orbit, that costs me a certain amount of Delta V. If I'm in orbit and I want to go further, that costs me a certain amount of Delta V. Even if you do an aerobrake, if it's not going to cost you any more or less Delta V. If you do an aerobrake, it's still going to cost the same amount of Delta V. You just have to be able to withstand the aerobraking given the design of your vessel versus using it in fuel. You still got to pay for it. There's no such thing as free Delta V. You got to be able to withstand the forces of aerobraking, withstand the heating of aerobraking without dying. It's more time-friendly to only go to the moon. I think so, yeah. Said it was time-friendly to go to the moon. Was it lower at was it actually lower in the very end at Minmus? Was that what we said? Maybe that's what it is. Delta V is not really the velocity of the craft, no. Delta V is not the velocity of the craft. It is a bug, Psycho Allen, that you're talking about. Delta V is the change in velocity. It's the ability to change the craft's velocity. And I use that to change my situation. Like, my situation is landed and I have to change my velocity a certain amount to get into orbit, right? Yes, I've done free return trajectories. What about changing it to a polar orbit? Again, go up to the moon, roughly, before you change your inclination into a polar orbit. If you're not just... When did I hit the shift key? I throttled down a little bit at some point. Lower at Minmus was 7 days, but only a day to the moon for 200 Delta V. So it was slightly more expensive to go to the moon. Thank you, CM. That was like a year ago that I think we did that. Space capitalism, nice. Yeah, but you've got to get to Minmus, RNG generic. You've got to increase. We're assuming you're in a low Kerbin orbit, and it costs more Delta V to get up to Minmus first before you flip it around. I'm at Kerbin. That's why I don't see my craft. I'm like, where's my craft? I don't see where my craft is. This is confusing. I bumped it about plus 35 seconds. I hit the shift key at some point. I'll still be able to get home. I mean, we still have 2,000 Delta V, and we've almost completed the exit burn here. Later, Kerbin. That's not Kerbin. Hello, Kerbin, I meant. Ay, 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 ay. Too many conversations. Too many different conversations going on at the same time. If someone offers you free Delta V, it's probably a scam. Look, don't get into vans where people are offering free Delta V, okay? That's not safe. 30, 20, 15, 14, 13, 10. I'm going to stop a little bit sooner and delete the maneuver node There's our Kerbin encounter. And finishing off the maneuver node is going to get me pretty close here. There's a Kerbin encounter. Let's focus on Kerbin and see what the encounter looks like. I'm all the way up there. That's a prograde pass right now. I'm coming in this side and I'm leaving that side. Vans in safe are generally not space. It's the first Delta V that's free. We don't have a periapsis anymore. That was weird for a second. So we're going to need to do a tiny inclination change. We'll do that at some other point. I'm coming in below it right now. We'll do an inclination change at some point. For just a smiddling more Delta V's. But there's Duna. And Ike. And we're leaving. Too bad I couldn't get Duna completely in the shot. Look at that. It's a big place. Most places are big places. They give you helium instead of hydrogen, you'd be stuck on the ground with a funny voice. Nice, Thader. Nice. Is this craft you're flying a massive build? You had to put Kerbals in with the arm with the broadcast monitors. No. Septic Womb, no. This is a much simpler vessel. You think I'm still burning? I hope not. No. Whew. Whew. RG Barge, que paso? Alright. So, we're going to put down a little bit of a trajectory change here. Let's get out of Duna's SOI first. My space mushroom is leaving Duna. You're not wrong. Where's Ike? There's Ike. We'll get Ike in the shot, too. There's Ike. There you go. You drink what you got in the fridge sometimes, Gold Irons. This is what I got in the fridge today. Maybe I'm just trying to convince Dr. Pepper that they're missing out on not sponsoring my stream. Yes, it gives you one up. People near the equator are burned with more free Delta V than those born nearer the poles. Nice. What is that line? There's a tractor beam on me! What is this? It's confusing. It's like a shadow of that. I don't know what that is. What's up, Arsenal? How's it going? You're from Italy, 3:30, go to university. Time to sleep, drink lots of coffee. Good night, Andre. Thanks for joining us, man. So we've got our Kerbin encounter. I'm just going to set up a maneuver like wherever. Click on Kerbin and focus the view. Zoom in. Go to the maneuver and see if I can't fix this. Yep, there you go. That's me crashing into Kerbin. That's something we try not to do. I mean, unless we're trying to go home, in which case we try to do it very intentionally. And that is going to crash me into Kerbin. That's not going to be a workable solution. It's an orbit in the correct direction. You can actually see I've got time warp still on because I got all the time in the world right now. You can see the way that the station is orbiting, so I want to enter this way and go that way. Where's my maneuver node? $41. What's that node cost? You can't actually see. There's too many things there. What am I supposed to do? There it is. It's 2.7 meters per second of Delta V to clean up our encounter with Kerbin. Coming up in 200 days. Lithobraking. What does a Kerbal maneuvering unit for moving station modules need? A seat. LKO to min-miss intercept is the plane change cost if you don't match inclination on the launch. Striders or meet it at its ascending or descending node. Hey, check it out. There you go. So we need to basically just time warp to this maneuver node. It's F5 for safety. Click over here and say warp to next maneuver. And we're leaving Duna. Duna's going to be left behind. Where's the sun? There's the sun. You can see the menagerie, the little planetarium. The $1 one coming home. Do you need a mooner one, Reese? Here you go. There's a mooner one. You were born north of Scotland, now you live in... You're trying to increase your own delta V. Eight days till the node. Our orbital velocity is 15,000 meters per second. Eek! That's a lot! Why are my engines in different stages? That's weird. Alright, let's go find this maneuver node. It's going to be a teeny tiny little burn here. I'm going to burn it while I'm looking at Kerbin. I don't have to wait the next minute. I can just do the burn right now. Do the F5. There you go. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, and stop! Oh, well, it's really close. That's not too bad. What's the parry? 18? Good enough for government work. Good enough for government work. Yeah, and we weigh 21 tons now. We do weigh 21 tons now. Kerbin's overweight this whole time. Well, logs fall. We did give each Kerbin room to stretch out. Like, each Kerbal has their own cabin. I said that I needed space for 4 Kerbals for every 1 Kerbal on the mission, since it's a long mission. We were just pretending, right? According to the Delta V chart, from where? From Minmus? Don't forget, you can use the atmosphere of Kerbin Striders. The most efficient way to change it is to spend mass at high speed. Wait, what moderation? What are they eating? Snacks. The snacks that are stowed in there. And we've got the Kerbal. We've actually got room for one more Kerbal in there, too. So, all we need to do is time warp till about right here. Here we go. We're going to have a high encounter velocity with Kerbin. The good news is I'm increasing my apoapsis right now. So that's good. I'm going to be losing orbital energy. Do you see this orbital energy going away? There we go. What was that? Rocket PC. What's up, Rocket PC? Sneaking by again. How are you doing, sir? Thank you for the host. Get a link in chat over there for Rocket PC, man. You've been streaming a lot of KSP lately, haven't you? What's the best periapsis for an aerobrake? It depends on the drag of the craft. It depends on the mass of the craft. It depends on the craft. Very much. It depends on the craft very much. So, not too bad. Alright, good deal, dude. Excellent. It really, really, really depends on the mass of the craft. Our orbital velocity right now is 4. Whoa, we're going to be encountering Kerbin at, like, a lot of orbital velocities. Cool. I don't think that 18 is a safe periapsis. I don't think that that's a safe periapsis. We're going to need to increase that periapsis up to probably, I'm going to guess 40 for the first try here. A little bit of radial out in my life. And plus we still have 1600 delta V if we need to slam on the brakes. First I'm going to try 40 though. Dude, y'all prepare for a flame festival, because this is going to be an energetic encounter. I don't know if we're going to flip out or not. At least we don't have a lander with us. At least we don't have the lander on us. We tested up to, what, like almost 4 kilometers per second. The best periapsis for Aerobrake is one where you don't slam into the ground, burn up, or skip back out of the system. Nice. Let's see what we've got here. F5. Warp all the way down to here. Oh, it's going to be nighttime, too. Computer, what's our... Jeb, computer, what's our speed? Computer, too much. Oh, buddy, 5 kilometers per second. That's ridiculously fast. I don't know if we're going to survive. We should probably be making our time. The good news is we know that the heat shield should live. Heat shield, we aerobraked a few hundred tons going 5 kilometers per second, so we've got that going for us, which is nice. We'll watch the maximum G indicator here. Let's see what we get in terms of max Gs. This thing's going to have to point exactly prograde. And we should have a very low center of mass right now. In fact, the center of mass may very well be inside the heat shield. It's almost exactly even with the heat shield. I hope we survive this. Slow down, I can't. Inflatable is safest for less than 5,000. Depends on the mass of the craft. Depends on the mass of the craft. We're going to see what happens. We're 125 kilometers up on my mark. 5.3 kilometers per second. We're about to hit the atmospheric interface. Coming up in a few seconds. Whoo, buddy. Hula Gremlin. I don't know. I hope that we don't flip out. Please, chat. The drag. If anything kills us, it's going to be the drag differential because these two parts aren't exactly the same. We are going to get drag from these, but we're also going to get drag from those fuel tanks. We're in the atmosphere now. 5.3 kilometers per second. 64. We're already getting shock heating at 64. Let's watch the thermal. Thermal 70% on the heat shield. 72%, 77%, 78, 79, 80% at 50K. 83, 84, 85. It's still climbing. We're braking like crazy. 14 seconds till the periapse. Look at us. We're bleeding speed. 88. Critical thermal on the heat shield. We're still bleeding speed like nobody's business. 5, 4, 3 to periapse. 2, 1. There's periapsis. We're now increasing our altitude. Critical thermal 80. That means we can go deeper if we have to. This is not orbital velocity for Kerbin. The heat shield needs you to take the energy. Heat shield, take my energy. Oh, heat shield, take my energy. We can go deeper, chat. I don't think we're going to capture on this pass. We're still slowing down like nobody's time. Look at the drag. Look at the amount of drag that we have going on here. We've got a lot of drag from that heat shield. But I don't think we've got a capture happening this time. We've got to go deeper. We've got to go deeper. We took 3.4 Gs during that break, and we bled off 1.3 kilometers per second of velocity. And I'm not even out yet. Look. But we did not capture. We are going to continue back. So we're still going past to Duna. Jeez. Alright. So, we've got to do it again. We learned from our experience. We were able to get almost 1.3 kilometers per second of aerobraking, putting it there at 40. Get a big horn ready for when we go deeper. Boing, just stripped off Kerbin. We didn't really skip off Kerbin. I don't know that we would cause this skipping off Kerbin. F9. Now let's do it again. We need to go deeper. Let's do 35 this time. Ooh, buddy. 40. That was even 4,400. We are going to try 35. 39, 38, 37, 36, 35. Stop. 35, 1, 2, 3. We should really put it at 35, 154 for luck. Let's do that. There we go. 35, 144, 152. Well, it shouldn't break at 152. So we'll leave it under 154, since 154 is where it breaks, right? There you go. Point of prograde. Come over here, F5. F5 again. Okay, good. F5. Here we go, chat. Warp to here. Kerbin's gonna come up awfully quickly, and we're pointing the wrong way. It's controlling from the wrong part. That's okay, we can flip around. Zoop! Control... Oh no, I need to go in here. Oh, I can tell it to hold retrograde. There. It takes practice, Rye. It takes practice. Rye Kappa. Retrograde before we hit the atmosphere? 153.9, right? Some number lower so that it can not explode itself. Your head flies off because you facepalm so hard. Here we go, chat. Here we go. I actually want to watch the radiators, too, and see if they do anything. Oh, the radiators aren't actually on. The radiators haven't been on this entire mission. Never mind. The radiators haven't been on the entire mission. We're altitude 100, rate of close 5,320 meters per second. I do have the Delta V. I'm sitting on 1,600 Delta V, so I could encounter Kerbin at less than 4,000. If that's what I wanted to do, if I wanted to retro burn. I could save an awful lot of, I could encounter the atmosphere with a lot lower velocity. Here we go, chat. 65 already. 70. 75. Heat shield temperature's climbing. 80. 85. I'm starting to feel like it's slowing down, though. The thicker we get in the atmosphere, the more convection we get, also taking the heat away from the heat shield. 90. 91. 91.5, 6, 7, and it's decreasing again. That's safe then. Heat shield, take my energy. Heat shield, take somebody's energy. Just get rid of this energy. I don't need it anymore. The heat shield is safe. We've taken 6.29 Gs. We're still braking. We're not even to the periapsis yet. We've lost almost 2 kilometers per second. Coming up on 2 kilometers per second of Delta V braking. Look at this. There's 2 kilometers per second. We're climbing back out of the atmosphere. There's a capture right there. There is a capture. Oh my gosh, we may be capturing completely. Our altitude's 37. We are dropping like a rock. Wow, look at this. Oh, it captured like crazy. Look at this. Perfectly safe, just uncomfortable. There is no ablator in this heat shield helium drag. Look, this was perfect. Altitude 41. Look at this. It was almost perfect. Bam. Who wanted to know how to do the encounter with an elliptical vessel? I can show you how. I can show you how. I don't think it was too deep. Our altitude's 50 now. We're up in the thinner atmosphere now. And we're climbing at 350 meters per second. We're going to be out of the atmosphere ridiculously fast. Drop the orbit. Separation to station, 0.2 kilometers. What? Okay. Well, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. What's up, Royal Vengeance? Hacks! Pre-recorded, staged! Very needed will be able to return or circularize. You're exactly right. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to encounter with that station. We leave the atmosphere. What I need to do is just burn prograde a little bit. Watch. There's the space station, chat. It's right there. We're going to come within 13 kilometers of it. A little bit of radial in will do that for us. For 26.9, now we'd still have to use more, right? We still have to use more Delta V. And this is not necessarily the most effective way to do this, but it's the fastest way to do this. It's the way that I'm going to do it. Watch. If I tilt my trajectory in... No, if I tilt my trajectory out a little bit, it should come in on this side, right? Yes. There you go. And we'll do a little bit of this way. What is that separation? 13.9. That's still not good. Still not good. I don't have a lot of time to do this. Did I just miss the maneuver node? I think I might have just missed the maneuver node. I can... Whoa! What? Oh, I hate the maneuver node system. Oh my gosh! We can still do it over here, though. Look. We could clean up the inclination at the same time. Did we do this? That's an ascending node, I think. Yeah, that's an ascending node. So we'll do that, and then I'll also... I'm going to be there, station's going to be there. I need to take a longer time doing it. Four kilometers. 0.7 kilometers. Ding! Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's definitely do that. Yes, Kerr needs to be in the stock game. Kerr and Transfer Window Planner need to be in the stock game, Royal Vengeance. 100%. 100% with you there. 100% with you. Look at that. There's a rendezvous with the station. Now, the relative velocity is going to be 600 Delta V. We've got 1600 Delta V on board, so I'm still going to do it this way. I'm still going to do it this way. There are more effective ways to do it, but this is the fast way to do it. I'm just watching the time to burn. 3, 2, 1, burn. Stupid control point. The control... Did we F9? I don't think we... Stupid. Turn around, whatever. I'm so tired of this. Craft and its wacky control point. That's so annoying. You, Echo 3 Bravo said it. Echo 3 Bravo said it. I can still get it done, though. It's not going to be exactly as efficient, but I can still get it done. That control point gets on my nerves. Gets on my nerves. I always quick save. Daniel, I always quick save. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.2. It's fine. Now, because this is going to be a high velocity encounter, 600 meters per second relative speed, I'm actually going to plot the maneuver here for it, right? So, what I want to do, I want to pivot my orbit on that encounter so that that orbit looks like that. You definitely don't want the orbit to look like that. Ruined! Saved! So, I want to act like I'm putting a thumbtack in there and pivot this orbit like that, so that the periapsis of my orbit is right there. I use radial in and out to do that. Okay? Radial in and out are what I want to use to do that. So if I come over here and zoom in a little bit, get that out of the way, and pivot. Watch it pivot. Watch what happens to this orbit. Do you see how this works? I'm deflecting my trajectory, and I want my periapsis to be right there at that encounter. Back this way a little bit. Okay? After I've accomplished that, after I've pivoted on that encounter point, I want to go retrograde at the same time. And now I'm going to have to clean it up with a little bit radial the other way, bring the periapsis back, pull some retrograde, bring the periapsis back, pull some retrograde, bring the periapsis back, and call that good enough for government work. That's going to be braking to within 1.3 kilometers. I could actually go a little bit more retrograde than that. That's going to be braking to within 1.5 kilometers. A nice encounter. This maneuver node I've calculated in such a way that I can match the orbit of that station. And just so happens, this right here, there's going to be a station for us there. ECM Arsenal.
Academy.
Thank you for subbing, man. I appreciate... Whoops. I appreciate the support. Thank you for letting me keep on doing this. It's a little bit different than the rest of the streams on Twitch, but I do appreciate people who support my channel. Can I jettison the heat shield? I could, but the craft would explode. It's not designed to jettison the heat shield. It's going to be about a minute and 47 second burn for 620 Delta V. We'll still have 800 Delta V. We could still fly by the moon if we wanted to, right? It would be more effective to aerobrake again, raise the periaps, aerobrake again, save the fuel. I think I can fuel this thing up almost all the way when we get to the station. Let's see if we can do it. 36 minutes. Let's warp to the next maneuver. Way up in the sky, the big bad birds fly, while down at the space station, additional fuel is waiting for us so that we can do more missions with the same craft. The bright sun is already well in the sky. The little maneuver node wakes up. It's time to burn! It's time to burn, the maneuver node says. Alright. I swear if it's pointing the wrong way. I'm fine. I'm fine. So where's the station? I don't see her right now. Oh, there she is, right there. We are trying to slow down that target relative velocity. Don't refuel at the station's new HAT module. HAB module. The new HAB module. Nice. How am I going to dock to the station? It requires a craft to go back and forth. This is a mothership. It's not designed to dock with other things. Also, the station is not designed to dock with other things. There's actually a shuttle up there that will be able to ferry fuel and Kerbals back and forth. Aiming for a long stream today. Like, waking up to the stream. Nice. In real life, I don't think you would want to use a ship that went through a 5-kilometer re-entry. I don't disagree with you. In real life, I wouldn't want... That gets ready to look so good. I wouldn't leave an inflatable heat shield inflated for a year-long voyage home from Duna either, right? Dock a new fuel tank to it, send it to Jewel. You'd love to see... I don't even think it would need a fuel tank. It's got like 6,000, 7,000 delta V when it's fully fueled. We don't need no stinking maneuver nodes. We're going to do the rendezvous on the bounce and by the numbers. Same thing we do during direct orbital rendezvous. Push that green X over onto that pink Y. That means I'm going directly towards the station. And cut. Coast. Station physics range. Passes... Oh, I'm actually going to crash into the station if I don't keep slowing down. Acceleration, 6 meters per second, 78, 10, 11, 12 seconds, 13 seconds of deceleration time. We'll be fine. We better start decelerating, though. Let's decelerate. This is inflatable. Hey, Royal Vengeance, don't say at Das Valdez. That's not going to highlight. Say question. Whatever your question is. I just realized that you were asking me a question, and I don't see it unless it starts with the word question, okay? Wow, that's a lot of red at once. Nope, I didn't get the magnets. I was trying to dock it. Oh, did I get the magnets? We got it. We got it. We got it docked. It's a sun shield with my new solar shade awning installed on the station. Hacks. It's the new hab. The new hab. Never mind, good game. Complete garbage. You expect to believe this? You expect to believe this? Ouch. Is that good enough, chat? Is that good enough, chat? Hold down F9. Nerf nerd, hold down F9. Thank you, Darth Teddy. Did somebody order a heat shield? My initial thought was that I was going to use this craft to ferry Kerbals to and from the station, right? And I was going to use this craft to actually dock into there and then use this craft's RCS to dock the hab with the station. That was the plan. And then I saw that the trajectory was coming in perfectly right, and I figured if I did it just right, I could get those magnets close enough. And we were able to dock. We were able to dock. We need to highlight that. Hey, the stream time is 4 hours 51 minutes. Could one of my mods type into the highlight place 4 hours 51 minutes? Do a high five to the camera. Dude, gold, iron, diamonds. High five to the camera, buddy. Question, Royal Vengeance. You have Kerbal joint reinforcement, docking port alignment, Kerr and Kerbal alarm clock. You use orbital maneuvers quite well, but I can't for the life of me man up and go beyond Minmus. I love doing Apollo-style missions. I have 10 stations everywhere with Q rotations. Hey, check it out. If you're interested in a how-to on interplanetary transfers, check out that link to that VOD right there. That will help you. That will help you with your interplanetary transfers. Don't be scared. If you can go to the moon, if you can go to Minmus, you can go to Duna. Watch the VODs from the last couple of days. That's everything that we've been doing here is going on these interplanetary missions. Yeah, rare earth magnets make for rare docking procedures. Oh, the ISS could have used that umbrella now that it's always sunlight there. So, Das, you had your first rendezvous docking lined up perfectly. You have rendezvous a meter away, and you put your docking report on backwards. Everybody's done that, man. Everybody's done that. Everybody's done that. Yeah, Royal Vengeance. Watch that VOD, come here and ask questions. That's the entire purpose. Like, my job is to help people do cool things in KSP. That's what I do for a living. So, appreciate you guys letting me keep on doing this. What next? I mean, we're done.